Hey everyone, UFC Fight Night Sandhagen versus Bond in Nashville, Tennessee just wrapped up. Um, we had 12 fights. It was a good card. The main event wasn't as eventful as we thought it was, but overall, pretty good card. What do you think?
Yeah. If I were to grade this card, probably a B minus. If it wasn't for the main event, I think it would have been a solid B, maybe even a B plus. Yeah, a lot of fun fights.
Yeah, I agree. Um, let's just, I guess, start off right away with the first fight. We had Asu Almabaev versus Ode Osbourne. We actually picked Asu Almabaev. He won by rear naked choke in the second round. Overall, I thought it was a great performance. I mean, he looked pretty solid to me. Solanbaya was setting up the takedowns well. The right hand was glued to his face. He had good defense. He landed a couple of big right hands of his own, was able to take Ode Osbourne down and submitted him.
Yeah, almost flawless performance. A few maybe points here and there for Asu, but overall, yeah, very good performance. If I'm his corner, I'm very pleased with his performance. Especially against Ode Osbourne is not exactly a bomb, right? He's pretty strong guy. He's got good punching power.
Yeah,
He was considerably bigger than Asu. You could tell.
he was.
But Asu, he was able to demonstrate grappling, wrestling. Um, his stand up was awesome. Yeah, I almost got that Peruvian necktie at the end of the round one.
Hmm.
And then it started round two. Round two, I think he got more comfortable as the fight progressed. Because first round, I think it took him a while to get that shot. Round two, he went for it just almost immediately.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Hopefully he comes back soon. I mean, he didn't take any damage. He got that cut, which actually wasn't even caused by Ode Osbourne. It was caused by according to the commentary team, at least they were saying that they saw the replay and that it was caused by the tape on it, Ode Osbourne. So he should be back soon. He's young. Another one of those Kazakh, guys from the Kazakh region and from that region.
Stuff,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah,
hope to see him back soon.
we're gonna. I'm sure we're gonna see more fighters coming from that region. This is gonna be like Dagestan, next Dagestan, I think,
Yeah.
where the Dagestan region produces a lot of predominantly wrestlers. Here we see uh, a lot of I want to say true MMA fighters that I don't want to get any hate from not that I'm hating on the Dagestani fighters by no means. I mean, but just saying they're predominantly more geared towards wrestling.
They
Uh,
seem more well-rounded. Yeah.
yeah, the fighters we see from Kazakhstan are more well-rounded, right? Shafkat and there's going to be more. I think they have this new promotion now in Kazakhstan called Naiza, and a lot of good fighters there from that region, from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and so we're going to see more of those fighters soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Let's move on to the next fight. We had Sean Woodson versus Dennis Buzukja. Dennis Buzukja loses to Sean Woodson. A little unfortunate because he took the fight on 3 days' notice. And I guess Sean Woodson does what he was supposed to do, right? I mean, he kept Dennis Buzukja at his range. He landed those calf kicks, which Dennis seemed to have no answer for. He didn't check any of them. He was taking them all right to the back of his calf, the left calf. Sean Woodson, outboxed him, landed a great body shot. Dennis Buzukja maybe showed some sign of life here and there with some big overhand rights and stuff, and he really didn't give up at all. Um, but again, even though Sean Woodson won, I thought again he maybe I don't know if showing low IQ is the right term, but like he's trying to like go for some takedowns in the third round and trying to grapple with him. I thought he could have put away Dennis and added to maybe his like highlight reel or whatever, but he just decided to wrestle with him. Even his corner was saying, "Hey, don't grapple with him, don't wrestle, just go out there and finish. Don't look for the submission, and he just completely ignored his corner.
Yeah, it seemed like Sean was having fun there. That
Yeah.
I think you saw him. He was very relaxed. He was just cruising. Again, I'm not sure what he was trying to do, but he did show good defensive wrestling skills. Right, he didn't allow many takedowns. Although it's really hard to get a takedown on him. And Buzukja he kept going for the double, right? And all Sean had to do is just spread his legs. His legs are so long, and he's just a very awkward fighter to grapple with when the stand up. I mean, I personally wouldn't go for a double if I were Buzukja. I'd probably maybe try to get an S grip in a clinch, or maybe go for a single. Getting a fighter like this for double is very hard because his center of gravity is really high, and it was just awkward to guy to wrestle with.
Yeah, especially with the cage, on Sean Woodson's side, it makes it even harder because, like you said, he could just lean against the cage and spread his legs, so you can't really clasp the hand. So hard for tennis or anyone really to take him down. But good performance for Sean, I guess. Dennis loses. He falls to 11-3. But I'm sure he'll be back. He's those from Aljamain and Ray Longo's corner, and he took the fight on 2-3 days
He
notice.
showed hard, but he showed hard. He kept pressing, right. He was the aggressive, you want to call it, despite being out punched and out kicked, he just kept pressing. Showed hard, but lack of skill. Maybe he didn't get a chance to prepare against somebody like Sean, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, for sure. Let's move on to another fight. This fight was, crazy back and forth fight. Cody Durden versus Jake Hadley. Cody wins by decision. It wasn't looking so good, I guess, for Cody in the first round, right? Like Jake Hadley was winning the exchanges in the first. But then all hell broke loose in the second round, the third round, crazy scrambles, crazy exchanges on the feet. I actually thought Jake Hadley was on his way to even winning that second round, but then he shot that kind of ill-advised takedown, if you remember. I don't know why he shot the takedown. It didn't look like he needed to. He's winning on the feet. But anyways, Jake Hadley shoots. Cody Durden sprawls and then starts to, lock up different submission attempts and starts to scramble and starts to, cut him with the elbows. So he loses that second. And kind of the same with the third. I thought Jake Hadley was doing well on the feet. And again, he shoots him for that takedown. Kind of the same thing. But it was an awesome fight. Amazing scrambles, many different exchanges on the feet. But Cody wins the decision, 29-28.
Well deserved. Yeah, they were back and forth in the grappling exchanges. I thought they were fun exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
With Hadley, I think, being a better grappler in the sense that I think he might be more accoladed from the jiu-jitsu, but he was going some weird stuff. Like I remember, like on the first round, he was going for a buggy choke, I think, or he always had his arm, right? I think he had him at some point. He had Durden's arm extended, but Cory survived somehow, and I think well deserved. It was another one of those fights where a fighter, Durden in this case, was having fun. He was enjoying it. He's at the end of the fight, he was flashing a thumbs up, and like he was having fun. It was good. I enjoyed the fight. I thought it was a good fight.
Yeah, and this is his fourth win in a row, so let's see where he goes from here. Next up, we had another extremely fun fight. I think it's one fight of the night, if I'm not mistaken. Billy Quarantillo versus Damon Jackson. Kind of similar to the last fight where Damon Jackson was, looked great in the first round. Billy kind of looked hurt a couple of times. It looked like maybe Damon Jackson even, was going to put him away at some points in the first round, but then Billy comes back in the second, nonstop pressure, nonstop cardio, nonstop output in the second, almost puts away Damon Jackson at the end. The second comes back in the third, kind of a similar, just landed many strikes against Damon in that third round, but Damon also no quitting him. But wasn't enough to beat Billy. He wins by 29-28. An amazing fight.
Amazing fight. I really enjoyed that fight, and yeah, that was another fight we got right. So fought 3 in a row. We did get a bunch of them wrong.
Yeah, I think 3 out of 4.
Quarantillo is a gritty fighter. At some point he ate that head kick like nothing. It was just didn't phase him at all. He just kept coming and coming. Jackson did slow down a little bit. Maybe that affected his overall performance, but my bad. Quarantillo deserved the win. He just kept pressing. He was getting better of the exchanges and had better cardio.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's almost kind of unfair because Billy was taking a lot of shots in that first, if you remember, and kind of lacks a little bit of a head movement, I think, and I think the right hand was touching him way too easily. If you remember, like Damon Jackson would just throw out that right hand and Billy would get hurt by it or hit by it. Yeah, another fun fighter in Billy. Let's see where he goes from here. Next up, we had
Billy. He surprised me with his defensive jiu-jitsu, right? Like the first round, I think Jackson had him in the RNC, right? Remember, he flattened him out. He was going for a rear naked choke, but
that's right, yeah.
But Billy was good. He's getting better.
It wasn't looking so good for Billy in the first, yeah. And
it was. I'm surprised he's gotten better, jiu-jitsu wise. We all knew the guy has heart. Every one of his fights is just slugfest, right?
Yeah,
crazy fight. But we saw that he is capable of learning, and just happy that he got the win.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, we had Carlston Harris versus Jeremiah Wells. Carlston Harris beat Jeremiah Wells by anaconda, so we got that one wrong. But in our defense, I guess Jeremiah Wells was throwing him around in the first 2 rounds. It's very strange because Jeremiah Wells was almost like kind of big brothering him, the way he was taking him down, the way he was like stuffing Carlston Harris's takedowns. Like if you remember at one point, he got the underhooks on Carlston and just like threw him over, just really running him over. And then Carlston Harrison with his second anaconda choke in that 3rd round, second of his career, looked like maybe he wasn't going to get it, right? But then Carlston Harrison adjusts, right? He turns him over to his side, then turns him back over to the right, kind of gets close to him and turns his body, kind of makes Jeremiah Wells' body like almost curves his body, or makes him like in 10L, which is the right thing to do, and puts Jeremiah Wells to sleep pretty quickly, I think, right? It felt quick to me anyways.
Very interesting.
One of those fights where, like, I don't know if Carlston Harris necessarily is the better fighter, but he wins. He wins by an anaconda choke.
Yeah, very interesting fight. So you got Wells, who comes in the first round, guns blazing. He was throwing bombshells, most of them not landing, and he was landing them. He did like a Superman punch or whatever, like on steroids. We were like 4 yards or 5 yards away from him. From Harris. Somehow he was able to get I think he almost got a guillotine right on him in the first round. Second round, I counted when the fight started. The second round, Wells was throwing this same combination. He was throwing left hook, right hook, left hook, left hook, right, and he missed like 15 of them, and he was throwing bombshells at the air.
Yeah.
He was just punching air, but he looked fine. He didn't look tired or anything. He wasn't breathing heavy. He was I mean, the guy's definitely athletic, but again, you have to say there's something IQ wise. I don't know why are you, what is he trying to do? He goes for a double right. He goes for a double. Then Harris loads him, gets Anaconda standing. Then he drops right to on his back, and he gets Anaconda. I mean, I don't remember seeing Anaconda actually being executed that way. Because what's interesting about the Anaconda, the way he did it is he's on his back with Wills on him, right? And it's hard to, because you need a lot of power to get that, right? You don't have the power, you don't have the weight of the gravity on your side, right? You have to rely on the squeezing power, right? But at the same time, it's hard to defend it. It's not your like your regular Anaconda where it's or a choke where you can maybe grab the choking hand. It's just one of those where you're on your back and you can't really do anything. And you needed, to me, I think you needed a tremendous power to get that choke, and Harris got it.
He got it, and those long
against Wills. It's not an easy one to get. I don't think it's an easy one to get.
And those long arms definitely helped him. That's for sure. Yeah, but yeah, he wins.
No, I'm sorry. That was the third round when Wells came in swinging, I think.
Yeah,
not second. Yeah. But interesting to see what's next for Wells. If you're in the if you're in his corner, you definitely want to address the craziness, right? You want him to become more efficient fighter.
Sure.
There's you need to address that for sure.
Yeah. Next up, we have Kyler Phillips versus Raoni Barcelos. Kyler Phillips wins by decision. I'm not really sure if there's much to say. I mean, I feel like Kyler Phillips was just a much faster fighter, was the more accurate fighter, right? More precise fighter, more efficient fighter. That was really it. I mean, I think Raoni Barcelos was kind of trying to make his way in, trying to land big shots. Kyler Phillips was countering well and moving well. That's really, I think, all to say. Not much to say. What do you think?
Yeah, not much to say. I mean, I think Barcelos's age probably is played a role here. Yeah, Kyle was faster. Kyle, is circling well. I mean, a beautiful footwork actually. It was. I know he trains here at MMA Lab, and but you could he's gotten better with his footwork for sure. He was mixing in low kicks. It was good head movement. He progressed.
Yeah, overall, really took no damage. So good job at Kyler Phillips. Shout out to the lab, MMA Lab here in Phoenix. We move on to Ludovit Klein versus Ignacio Bahamondes. We got this one wrong. We thought Bahamondes was going to win, but I didn't know that Bahamondes forgot that his legs worked. I mean, did he just forget that he had legs? I don't know. Did he forget that he has good kicks, that he's long, he has good front kick? Did he just forget about that? I mean, what happened?
Yeah, there are two surprises here. One is the fact that Ludovit was able to win the stand-up exchanges. So that was surprising, right? Because we thought the plan would probably for Ludovit be to take him down. He did take him down. There was a takedown, and with Bahamondes, try to do up kicks, right, and almost got one. I think
he knocked him down, right?
Yeah, but Ludovit was winning the stand-up exchanges, so that was surprising. And another surprise was it was real Bahamondes kicks. Bahamondes completely right. We didn't. I don't think we said that many. I think he had a few knees here and there, but at the fence, I think but overall, we didn't see much from Bahamondes in terms of kicks.
Yeah, I mean, Ludovit Klein did a good job. I mean, he's going to want to box with the long kick. He's going to want to get in close. I thought Bahamondes would use his range a little better. I thought he would kick a little more, but he didn't. He let Ludovit Klein, entering close, and you know, Ignacio was trying to box with him, which I think was stupid. But it is what it is. Ludovit Klein wins. I'm not so sold on him. I know he has, I think, 2 wins now in a row, 3 wins in a row. I think one of them by split decision. We'll see where he goes from here. But next up, we had Tanner Boser versus Aleksa Camur. I thought another fun fight. Um,
I honestly I didn't enjoy the fight that much. I thought there was too much clinching from Tanner Boser. In between the clinching, yes, there was there was there were good exchanges, but I thought Tanner Boser, yeah, he dropped the weight class, right? I mean, he was considerably smaller than the other heavyweights. Now he goes into light heavy, and he gets smoked by Kutalaba, right? Kutalaba just destroyed. In this fight, I think he might have been apprehensive a little bit because he maybe from the Kutalaba fight, because you saw 1-2, 1-2, and then clinch. He was trying to he was initiating the clinches. Camur didn't want those clinches. Camur came to fight. He didn't care. That guy came to fight. Tana didn't give him a lot of room for that. But yeah, overall, not a bad fight for Tanner Boser. I think it's a type of fight that kind of was meant to build his confidence, maybe at 205, and see what else he can do. He's a good kickboxer. We haven't seen his wrestling tested at this weight class. We haven't seen anything else tested. Interesting to see what's next for him.
Yeah, he moved well. I feel like he hit Aleksa Camur with a lot of big shots, especially in that third round. He hit him with some big shots, and Aleksa, was cut up and it was all bloody at the end of at the at the end of that fight.
Camur that guy can take a punch.
Yeah, and Tanner Boser still looked like the smaller guy to me. I think he can even move down to middleweight. So I don't know what's next for him. But let's move on to Diego Lopez versus Gavin Tucker. Diego Lopez wins by like triangle / armbar in the first round. I like this guy Diego Lopez, man. He's a fun guy to watch. His jiu-jitsu is incredible. You can see as soon as he's on his as soon as he's on his back, a lot of guys just tend to hold the guard, and they want to control their opponent's posture, and they just kind of stall. Not Diego Lopez. He's always looking for submissions. Always hips are moving, legs are moving. Legs are being shot up. He's always doing something, right? Catches Gavin that triangle.
That triangle is also not an easy thing to get, right?
And it was kind of
for a single.
Yeah, it not exactly a flying triangle, but it did happen while he was in the air, right? Because Gavin Tucker was on his way to take him down. But I think Diego Lopez was thinking, instead of just sprawling or getting underhooked, let me just shoot up a triangle, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't remember the last time I saw that, where a guy goes for a takedown and his defense is to shoot up a triangle, right? So I love that. I think yeah, he got the triangle. He didn't get it fully, right, but you could see him pulling on the arm and starting to make it deeper and deeper, and then he finally gets it across, and he rolls him backwards, and while he's rolling him backwards, he armbars him and triangles him at the same time. Gavin Tucker taps almost instantly, and the fight's over quick.
Beautiful performance, yeah.
Yeah.
Defensive grappling is on a different level with this guy. The fight started with probably the biggest ball kick we've seen in a while. Well, I don't think that's been a while since we heard that bang. Lopez recovered quickly, and he showed what he's made of. I mean, long anticipated return for him after his performance against Steve Loev. I was waiting for him was waiting for this fight.
Yeah.
And probably one of those fighters that deserve a fast track to type 15 at fight 145. Who is there for him to fight? And we have to think about that one. But
I thought
he was a next level fighter.
And I thought his striking looked good. I mean, people call him like a jiu-jitsu fighter and all that, but I thought his striking looked good. He moved well. His defense was there. He looked good on the feet. So overall, well-rounded fighter. Um, more of love in him. I don't know. Part two, maybe. We'll see. Uh, but yeah,
He
with
almost,
the full camp,
almost ripped Mofsar's leg out, right?
yeah, with a full camp, I'm sure this guy
And
could.
arm, and on the arm. I mean, first arm, then the leg, and this
He
guy's
rocked Evloev too, if you remember, right? You remember that? You heard of Evloev too. So this guy is definitely a guy to watch out for 145. I mean, we got to watch out for this guy. Definitely going to make some waves, I think, in the next couple of years. But let's move on to the next fight. We had a 205er, 205 light heavyweight fight. We had Dustin Jacoby versus Kennedy. We actually picked Kennedy, right? But Dustin wins quickly by that right hand knockout, kind of countering Kennedy. I'm not really sure how I feel about the stoppage. I mean, it was a great right hand, beautiful down the pipe, ran flush on Kennedy's jaw. But if you look, Dustin is ground and pounding him, but everything is being blocked. I mean, Kennedy has that guard up, and I think we counted 4 or 5 ground and pound strikes, but everything was being blocked, and Kennedy was getting up. So I'm not really sure how to feel about the stoppage. It was a great right hand that dropped him, but would like to have seen it go a little longer, just because he didn't take any ground and pound. It looked more like a flash kind of knockdown. And we know Kennedy could take big shots. He's been in a lot of slugfest, so maybe give it a couple more seconds.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Jacoby was able to throw that counter as he was backing away, right?
Yeah.
That he was backing away and he got hit and then he threw the counter. So I don't know if we have to either the punch that landed just caught the Kennedy in like off guard, and or did it really hurt him? If it really hurt him, then maybe there's questions as to Kennedy's like ability to take a punch. His chin might be going here, or did Jacoby really landed the monstrous punch? I don't know. It didn't seem that way because he got hit and he was backing away. It was his back was against the cage. And you're right. I mean, those hammer fists, they were all blocked. None of them landed.
Yeah.
I'm upset about the stoppage.
Yeah, but nothing much else to say. I mean, it was again, like you said, it was perfect right hand, like the way he backed up, and I don't think it was. I think it's also the fact that Kennedy didn't see it, right? We all know that the strike that you don't see hurts you the most. So was it the hardest strike in the world? Maybe not, but if flush on the jaw, a punch that you don't see will put out anyone. So yeah, let's just move on to the next fight. We have Tatiana Suarez versus Jessica Andrade. We did pick Tatiana Suarez, and I think we did say that she's just going to wrestle her, and I think I did say she's going to put her away in the second or third round, and that's what she did. She did that by guillotine. Suarez looked a little tentative maybe on the feet. She had good defense, but not so good on the feet. A little slow, but I guess it didn't matter. She was able to take Jessica down. Right, that's her game. Out wrestled her very easily. We've seen Jessica before out wrestled, so nothing new. But Jessica with a guillotine in second round. Pretty easy, I guess, for her.
Yeah, me. I am admitted. I'm not a big fan of female MMA in general, but some fighters they deserve a lot of credit, like Jessica Andrade.
Yeah,
That's her 4th fight this year.
yeah. Is that really
that is crazy, right? To me, that's just crazy. Somebody who wants to fight. Again, I'm not a huge fan of and then another thing about her, she's got some funky stuff. Like we've seen her do that slam, right? When she win by the slam.
She's powerful.
The only standing arm triangle that I know of. I mean, I don't know anybody else who's done something like that, right?
Yeah.
But all that was not enough against a superior grappler like Tatiana Suarez, who's been unfortunate with the injuries that she had since I think she's was it the neck injury, right?
Yeah, the neck
Or
injury.
something
She had
like
a back injury. She had like knee injuries. She had thyroid
yeah,
cancer.
and then
Have.
when she had the neck injury, she actually discovered, I think, that they had that she has something with a thyroid cancer, some sort of. So she had a
Something.
cancer issues they had to deal with. Then, but yeah, she's an awesome wrestler.
Yeah.
Those who understand wrestling, she is pretty high level wrestler.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know what they do with her because I would like for her to fight like a number one contendership fight, but it looks like it's going to be against Yan Xiaonan, which I wouldn't want that to be, just because I think Yan versus Zhang Weili would be, an amazing fight, and even that's coming from us who we're not a super big fans of women's MMA, but I'm a huge fan of Yan Xiaonan. I think the way she beat Jessica Andrade was even more definitive, right? She knocked her out quickly with that right hand in the first round. Frankly, I think they made a mistake by doing Zhang Weili versus Amanda Lemos, but that's besides the point. I don't know what to do with Tatiana Suarez. Probably going to be Yan Xiaonan, unfortunately. But at the same time, that's Jessica Andrade's third loss in a row and third loss by finish. So hopefully she takes a break. She definitely is like a woman's BMF. I think she's one of those. Anytime, anywhere, doesn't matter if you're ranked number 5, ranked number 100, she'll fight you. She doesn't care. So
yeah, she doesn't care what weight class she'll
down weight
fight.
class. Yeah, she's definitely BMF.
Yeah, agree.
That was the co-main event, guys. Now it's the main event. Cory Sandhagen is Rob Font. Cory Sandhagen defeats Rob Font by decision.
I don't know.
Fight.
I don't know
Boring
how I
fight.
feel about
Let's not
Cory.
sugarcoat it. Boring fight. Hard to watch.
It was a yeah.
It was a little weird
Cool.
because go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Cory Sandhagen, I think not only he surprised his opponent, I think he surprised the rest of the MMA world with his grappling. And
yeah.
But the way he grappled was just enough to stay in a half guard and just doing, I guess, enough of do enough to win the round. Let's just put it this way, right? He wasn't advancing far. He was comfortable in a half guard. He had a good base. Fun struggled to get him off him.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was just pretty much 5 rounds of the same thing.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, I don't think that the wrestling or grappling surprised me for Cory Sandhagen, just because ever since he lost to that Aljamain Sterling, which was in 2019, right? 2020, we know that he's been working on his wrestling and jiu-jitsu relentlessly. We've seen it deployed in the Chito Vera fight. We've seen it deployed in the Song Yadong fight. So I wasn't really surprised by it. Also, of course, he was preparing for Umar. So you have to say for the last 34 months, all he was doing is defending takedowns, working half guard, bottom, mount, just everything, right? Everything grappling, you have to say he was working relentlessly on. So I don't think I was surprised with Cory Sandhagen's grappling. I was more surprised with Rob Font's, to be honest, just because I understand, right? Like, you get taken down that in the first round, you got taken down. Cory Sandhagen got that single leg on the right side or Rob Font's left side, and
he was grabbing his lead leg.
But he did the same thing 7 times in a row. And for Rob Font to not even adjust once, for him to not sprawl, for him not to get that left underhook, was very surprising. Very surprising. I did like the butterfly hooks from Rob Font, right? He wasn't letting Cory Sandhagen advance with the butterfly hooks. He was elevating him well at certain points. He was looking for the sweeps. But a little disappointing that Rob Font couldn't even defend one single takedown. This is, I mean, you're fighting in a division where, think about this, right? You have Aljamain, you have Cory, you have Merab, you have Henry Cejudo. All the top 5 guys are all grapplers. And for you to not defend one takedown, not sprawl, very alarming. I did like that he didn't let Cory Sandhagen advance. But I think Cory Sandhagen got 7 out of 7 takedowns. He had 21 minutes of control time or 20 minutes, something crazy like that. I've never heard that before. I don't even think Khabib has done that, where he's had 21 minutes of control time, which is very alarming for Rob Font. But I do think credit needs to be given, right? Because he did take this fight on 2 weeks' notice. You know, who knows what he was doing 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. He looked to be in great shape. He did not gas out. He
Oh,
wasn't anything after
he
the
was in
fight.
phenomenal shape.
So
Spend so much time on defending, he hasn't gas. So his gas tank is phenomenal. But yeah, not defending it. He was trying to do something from the back, like he was doing like trying to go for a triangle. He was trying to go for like, I don't know. He was trying to do some stuff off his back, but that stuff wouldn't work. It just
yeah, it wouldn't work. And Cory Sandhagen, yeah, he puts himself into a position where he is now gonna fight. I mean, at least should fight, right? The winner of Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain. He did suffer that tricep injury or tear. We don't know what it is yet. So that could probably put him out for 6 to 9 months. But yeah, overall, I think it was a good card. You know, the main event again was not very eventful, but overall good card.
If he ends up fighting Mirab, right? Assuming I don't know, let's just say pretend that he's fighting Mirab here. Then it's going to be a snooze fest of a fight, I think.
Really,
Right?
I favor Cory though, to be honest, in that fight. Maybe I have to do a little tape watch. I feel like I always kind of count Merab out every single time he fights someone. I'm like, no, he's gonna lose. I was gonna lose. But that fight against Peter Yan really.
Oh no, I'm not doubting. I'm not doubting that. That Mirab is capable of winning the fight. I'm just think it might be a boring fight.
It's gonna be like a clinch fest. Yeah, maybe it could be.
Maybe a boring fight, I think.
Yeah, but in any case, I think Cory Sandhagen has to fight for the title next. The only way he fights against Merab is if it's like for a vacant title. I don't think he should be fighting anyone else. But again, great card. Overall, really great weekend of fights. We had the one championship fight on Friday. I don't think that's covered enough, to be honest, by like MMA media and which is very unfortunate because they always put on amazing fights. I don't know why it's not covered. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz was a show, I guess. Was pretty fun to watch. But yeah, I thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you guys this week for the next recap. And yeah. Bye guys.
Bye guys.